cold on there tonight. This morning it was real frosty outside here on the grass, and had to scrape my window off the truck there. Yeah, man, it's pretty much winter now, eh? So hey, TGIF, it's Friday. Got quite a bit done today. I had my stepson here, Corey Iverson, here today, helping me out. We stripped out a whole bunch of old 372s of a friend of mine's that were all junk. They're all blowing up, but we stripped them down so he's got the parts. Spare tanks, spare starters, handlebars, everything like that, right? It's just a nice way to do it. So the guy can just grab a handlebar or a starter that's ready to go for his other saws that are still going. So I did that, had him doing that today, then also stripped down some brand new 390s here that I'm doing up for a fella. So I'm just gonna do those up tomorrow and Sunday. Maybe not. Probably do maybe one tomorrow and the rest on Monday. It's the weekend now. I want to talk to you about the version 1 of Auto-Tune, the original 576 saw. I have a fella here from Alberta, Tim, sent me a 394. That's a 1995 model. That is in excellent shape, like almost new. Poured that out for him. I've already done a muffler for him a bunch of months ago. He bought them and we shipped them out to Alberta. And now he sent me the saws to port them. So I want to explain the problems we ever had on 576s. So if any people out there have problems with the first version Auto-Tune of that saw, maybe you'll pick up on something, okay? So let's first talk about the saw. The saws themselves were a nice saw. Very smooth. Here's the one right there. Super smooth on your hands. Ergonomically, probably the most smoothest Husky that they've ever built. A lot of my customers that were running them said that, and they've ran a lot of different models of Huskies, 372s, 394s, stuff like that. So the first generation, the problems I really ever had, well, let's start by the first problem I'm looking at right now. The first problem is the ground wire from the Auto-Tune from the Auto-Tune down to the ground, and it's by where the switch is, eh? So let me just try to focus you in here a bit. On the Auto-Tune system on this saw, you have your red wire that comes from the Auto-Tune part under the generator part under the flywheel. So the red wire hooks to the microprocessor here, the Auto-Tune, if you want to call it that. And this black wire is a ground. This ground is to a bolt on the crankcase here. And there's also a ground strap from the switch here that goes down to that bolt as well. So one problem with them running not right is this ground wire from the Auto-Tune. The ground wire itself, you feel it here, it'd be spongy, and you'd almost be able to tear it apart. So it wasn't grounding properly and it disrupting the carburation system for the Auto-Tune. So that was the first kind of thing we had problems with. Then we had some crankcase issues of them cracking and falling right apart. Right about in this area here, they would break and crack. So some sort of vibration was going through them and making them crack here. Very odd. The factory really didn't come up with any fixes or explanations what would be wrong. But I think it was something to do with the balance factor, maybe of the crankshaft, sending vibration levels to this area. It was something weird, and we also, so that was the second kind of biggest problem we had here. So then this here clip would come all loose, and then it wouldn't hold the top cover on, right? Another one of the problems was where the top cover fits on the chassis here of the crankcase. You see this side here, it's got a little bit of a wear mark there. Well, the ones that were using the bush here for a while, you know, like they get a lot of hours on them, right? The plastic would actually wear the magnesium. The plastic's stronger than the magnesium. Weird. So it would get so wore here, you couldn't get the clips tight, okay? So what would happen is, and underneath here too, you wouldn't, this would wear in the crankcase, this clip here, and you wouldn't be able to keep the cover on. Yeah, wasn't a very good setup. Kind of frustrating. So that was never fixed on them. And we also had crank bearing problems on the clutch side. You would get some that would, the cages would go and up and down movement. Of course, it would suck air. And these ones really didn't compensate that well in the auto tune, like the new versions, to if there was an air leak, it would self-adjust itself to run richer, to make it actually still run, okay, instead of failing. So in a way that's okay, but in a way it's still not right. It shouldn't fail. So those three things were a big thing. The ground wires for the auto tune, cracking of the crankcase, and a bearing problem. Other than that, like I say, one of the most smoothest saws ever from Husky, and ergonomically wise, a great saw. We also did have a few little problems with the starters, like I'm seeing now with some of the new series of the 500 series. You see this type of starter with these metal posts? A lot of these would crack here and break, just like this one I just changed on this 572 I'm doing for a friend right now. You see how the one post is missing, that one's all bent over. So you got to watch it when these do that you don't bend your starting pawls and mess up that system. So if you have that problem with your starter, check your pawls to make sure they're still flat and they're not bent in or anything. Because if they are, your next pulley that you put on, like I just did on this 572, is going to fail as well. It's not going to line up right, and it's going to mess up. Okay. So other than that, the first version of this auto tune was pretty darn good, man. Yeah, actually, they ran good. Just those issues, the guy, you know, discouraged the guys from using them, kind of discouraged us from selling them. But Husky didn't seem to really want to do much about it because I knew they had new stuff in the makings, eh? But you know, this CC of saw is what the 372 should have been, 75 to 77 in that range, you know. But anyways, like I say, they were super nice on the fellow that was running them. Smooth, comfortable. Yeah, they did the job. They weren't a huge wood, like a 36-inch bar size saw. They were more, you know, 28, 30, 32 in that range. Okay. One other thing you can do on these, though, is these have a rev limiter ignition of 13.3, which ain't that bad. But a lot of the fallers like them revving a little more when they're limbing, eh? When they're standing on a big log with their cork boots and they're going down it and cutting those branches, they like that RPM, wing, wing, with that sharp chain, and it just rips those branches off real quick, or cuts them off real quick, not rip. You know what I mean. So they like to have a little more over rev in that. So I was putting some of the blue ignitions on them that were doing like 13.6, 13.8, or a few of them I actually put the black ignition on it where it was unlimited, and it would actually work. I can't quite remember the RPM that they were doing when I put the black ignition on, because remember, you can't adjust your carburetor, so you can't rich and lean that out, right? But what I'm going to do with this saw, I'm going to port it for my friend Tim in Alberta. Muffler's already been done. I'm going to put the black ignition on it, and I'm going to run it and see what the RPM was, so I can familiarize myself back to where it was, because I don't want it over revving and blowing up, obviously. So that's what I'm going to try on this, and I'll do a video on that later. I got it all apart right now to do that. Okay, so I'm on his 576. his old 394. And this, I just did that for my friend to fix the starter. Someone commented the other day on the highway cylinders. They asked me a question, well, where's your feedback on the ones you're testing? Well, here's some feedback here. And I'm going to show you something. This is a regular highway cylinder that isn't the nickel. It's the regular version, okay? This lasted about 2 weeks. And I'm going to do a close-up here in a second and show you exactly what happened. It's basically like tin foil molded into the cylinder. Yeah, I guess that's why I didn't like aftermarket ones for a while. But saying that, I'm going to give you a close-up of that in a second. But the fellow was asking how my one's doing that I put on a logger saw from my friend Rick Antonico. He just had that saw in at the Walker Saw Shop, and Simon, the other mechanic there, it was hard starting. So I think Sam did a pressure vac test on it, and then maybe there was something in the carburetor. I forget. I haven't asked him about that, but I did look at the motor through the exhaust port, and it's working fine. There's no scoring. The plug color is perfect. Rick likes to run his saw at quite a high RPM, so he probably has it set around 14.2 maybe, with no bar and chain on. With the bar and chain on, it's probably down around 13.9, 13.8 maybe. Okay. So with this one though, we actually left the bottom ring out and deleted the base gasket. I did not port it. But then I also changed the circlips to standard circlips, the OEM Husky ones. That thing's been working now for about 4 months, and the thing's a hot rod. All his partners at work go, wow, that thing's rips, man. So far, that one is working awesome. And I know other people that have used some of these type nickel, and they're working well as good as well. So there's my summary on that. I do want to get some more of these to do some used saws that I'm going to sell and stuff, and maybe for some other people, that have like 372 X-Torque. They want to change it back to old style, so we'll put one of those on the big bore pop-up and put the original carburetor and stuff back on the Walbro one of the original 372. So there's something to consider, right? So now let me show you this one now. Exactly what it looks like. I don't know what I did with the piston. Where did the piston go? Oh, it doesn't matter. The piston was junk. Okay. I'm going to take you out of the holder here, my little tripod stand. TGIF. Hope everyone's having a good Friday night. What am I doing here on a Friday night anyways? Hey, Donny's usually in the morning, eh? Okay. Look at this sucker. Hope you can see that. See that? That's all missing chrome. See all that? The chrome come right off it, man. Look at that. See that there in the combustion chamber? That's a piece of the chrome. That's a piece of tin foil. Unreal, eh? Just knock that out of there. There you go. There it is. Hey, look at that. That's your chrome. Or was chrome. Yeah, bummer, man. But hey, tried it out. It was cheap. The fellow I did it for, he was very understanding. He's a nice fellow. Tyler. He lives by my mom and dad in the trailer park. Trailer park, eh? Like the trailer park boys. So anyways, yeah, there it is. Junk. Not good. So, I actually bought these off a shop down in the U.S. And he's going to go good for giving me another one back when I order some more cylinders. I'm going to order a couple 346 cylinders, 357s, just for some personal builds. and a couple more big bore pop-up tight nickel cylinder kits. I kind of wish they actually made that without the pop-up. I don't know. Everyone has a different idea of pop-ups. You know, like I said in previous videos, a lot of the fastest racing engines in the world have flat top pistons for a reason. They cool better, especially in high speed situations and high heat situations. But you can always adjust your squish for that too, to get more compression, which I do either with leading base gaskets, cutting bases off, or making different base gaskets for different models of saws. So there you go. There's the unchromed version of a Titan nickel, or a highway cylinder non-tight nickel, and then the good one is still working. I better get upstairs here soon. I think the wife's gonna cook tacos tonight. It's Taco Friday. I just went to the daycare actually and tried to fix a couple things for Shelly, for the kids, hang a different door, but I needed some screws. So tomorrow I'll go there and then work on that a bit. So there we go. Auto Tune version 1, kind of explained. Anyone has any questions or anything, hopefully you'll comment on it, or any problems, let me know and I'll try to help you out with it. And there you go on the aftermarket cylinder stuff. I don't blame people to try to go this way for consumer saws and firewood cutters or whatever, because yeah, they're a lot cheaper. But at least Husqvarna cylinder kits are still under $400 for most of their cylinder kits. We're still as creeped up to around $425 for some of their stuff. Even their pistons are like over $200 now. So I don't blame people for rebuilding those saws or fairly new ones. But if you got a good OEM cylinder kit and you only need maybe a piston or maybe a ring or something, stick with it. It's the way to go. Don't just buy a big bore aftermarket one and thinking that you're going to get a whole bunch more power, because you're really not. You know, it's like maybe Dino Joe can do some videos of that. Like take a brand new or used, say 372 with the regular OEM cylinder on it, do a dyno run, throw a brand new aftermarket Chinese cylinder kit on it and do a dyno run and just see what the difference is. I think I'm going to email him about that. Hey Joe, I'm going to do that, man. I like that guy. He's got great videos. He does excellent stuff. He's quite a machinist and welder. I wish I had more skills like that. I know a lot about saws, about every model that's ever been made pretty much, especially old ones and new ones. But he takes it to a different level and he does great work. So yeah, we'll check that out. Watching Buck in there today fixing his old Ford, doing the brakes on it. That's funny. I had a truck just like that the brake drum cracked, eh? It was like with a brake, eh? But that was funny. I made a couple comments, I think, or one comment I think on that video, but I'll have to give him a call, see how he made out. Anyways, it's Friday night. Let's get out of the shop, eh? TGIF. I hope you guys all have a good weekend. Hope the Thanksgiving was great down in the U.S. for everyone. So get out, enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be sunny here for the weekend, but cold, which is okay. That's better than the rain. We do still need rain to fill our watersheds up, but rain at night, please, not during the day. So yeah, have a good weekend. Take your kids out fishing, hunting, sawing, chopping, whatever you want to do. Pickleball, tennis. I only said that because we just got those pickleball things. Now I'm feeling old. I live in a community that's all retired people. Now, okay, Donnie's going to go play pickleball. Okay, he's old. He's got gray hair. But lots of it. Anyways, have a good weekend. Keep your saw into it, stick in the ice, rubbing her up. Enjoy life. Be safe. Be happy. Keep smiling. Bye.